Record for the record.
Hey, this is Matthew Harvey here with the 12 o'clock siren, recording live at the 903 Broadband Studios at the Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left hand is James, I forgot a good middle name, Hartley.
Man, I was hoping you were going to go with Red Legs.
I should have.
Yeah.
I should have.
I'm a little crispy from this weekend.
Yeah. I just didn't even think about a middle name until just now.
Well, you got through the intro good, though.
Than't you. I didn't mess it up.
No, it's good. We've only been doing this for 2 years now.
Yep,
so.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
This is going to be part one of a three-part Leonard Picnic special, because we've got the Leonard Picnic coming up the weekend of July 17th.
Right around the corner, as they say.
Yes, sir.
About a month from now.
Right about a month out.
Yep.
So what we have is a special guest today. We've got the frontman of the headliner of the Leonard Picnic, Mr. Matt Boggs.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
There
awesome.
he is.
Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you very much for doing this for us.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do the Zoom style. That's very convenient for me in my new life.
This is our first, so bear with us.
That's what I was going to say. This is a first for the siren. We've had a couple of call-ins, but we haven't done Zoom yet. But this is technology, you know. It helps. So
Prophets and Outlaws.
Now I can see your setup back there. I see your Dallas Cowboys fans.
Yep.
Like me.
Yeah. That's like a 1960s pennant. I think my dad.
That was the time to be a fan. Was the first year.
Yeah.
Ever since then, it's been a struggle.
It's been been up and down for sure, and a lot of down.
So you're a Cowboy fan, obviously.
Yeah, I root for chaos now. I used to root for championships, but then I realized that's not their goal. So that's no longer what I root for chaos. I wanted to draft Johnny Manziel just for the craziness.
I agree with this theory.
Followed.
That's actually, if you change your perspective on things, that might can help with happiness long term. So if you're not rooting for a championship, you just change your frame of reference, and now you're a happy Cowboys fan because it is chaotic.
I just like watching my team on primetime, and that's all Jerry cares about. So
you're exactly right. That's a good bet.
I think this is the second time I mentioned it on this, but I used to call into the Cowboys. I sell technology for a living, and the lady we met with out there one time said the Cowboys is not a sporting organization; it's a marketing organization, and I died a little. It hurt my sports heart.
Saw behind the curtain.
Yeah, it was and she said it very casually, like she didn't say the quiet part out loud. She just said it, put it out there. Hurt my feelings.
Yeah, they know what's up over there.
They do. They do.
Prophets and Outlaws. Tell us about it. How'd you get started? Give us some background.
Yeah, I'll give you a rundown. James, our drummer, and Steven, our guitar player, are brothers. And I went to high school with those guys. And I played sports. I played baseball, golf, and I loved music. I was in the choir, but because I had to be. And we went to a Catholic school here in Dallas called Jesuit. Mm-hmm. And on Fridays, we would have kind of a laid-back prayer service, nothing formal, but we would have like rock music that would, play. And James and Steven, a lot of the times, were the ones that would get up there and do it. And so as a freshman, sophomore, junior, I thought that was so cool. I never would have had the confidence to do anything like that. I didn't have the chops to do anything like that. And I saw them do it and kind of saw that, that might be a path for me. And after college, we started a band, and then I got a college. I went to the University of Oklahoma and graduated in 2008, and there was no jobs to be had, but I was able to make money gigging. I mean, we could bring people to shows. That was the one thing, and that we could do. So I kind of just kept doing it because I needed to, make some money to try to start my life and move out of my parents' house. And that just kept snowballing, luckily. And we got on the ranch in Fort Worth. We did their help me out here. We won their Battle of the Bands. I can't think of what it's called. And we got on the radio with our song Soul Shop. And it got up to number 19 without any promotion. No one knew who we were. And that kind of, took off from there. We released Texas Home not very long after that. And then Country Music Gold's been our biggest hit to date. And things have just been going since then, steadily climbing.
So were you gigging during college?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was in a big fraternity, so it wasn't hard for me to get my buddies. This was kind of social media was just getting started, so I would do like a big Facebook invite, and just invite everyone I knew, and we would sell the place out, play a bunch of covers, Cross Canyon Ragweed, Eli Young Band, Pat Green, and whatever. Just had a blast, and that was just kind of how it started.
Yeah, you're speaking our language. We're, I assume we're probably about the same age, 37 to 38, 39, something like that. And
I'm born 1985.
Yep, there you
Right.
go. 82 here. So yeah, the names you just spoke were all what we were into. I graduated college in 2006, so we're about right there with you as far as social media growing up too. That game's changed a lot.
Yeah, it was very much word of mouth still when we were first getting started, and I kind of feel like still a little behind the times, but whatever, we'll get there.
Well, is MySpace still a thing? Because it used to be, it kind of took over for like bands. It became like a band thing, and then I don't know, is it still around?
It's not still around, but I remember watching it closely. Every day I would log in, and we get like 10 more listens on my song.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I had 4 songs when I was first getting started on MySpace, and I can't even find them anymore.
Oh, man.
I think they're lost along with MySpace. But I did hear 6 or 7 years ago that all of the songs on the database in MySpace were gone forever.
Oh, wow.
That was something I heard. So, those 4 songs, I mean, I don't even honestly remember them, how they go. So they're just gone. But that was my first like foothold into social media. I had four tracks on there, and I got a couple gigs from it. I early on, I was just looking for anything I could do. And one of the things I got a call from a guy that found my MySpace account. He wanted me to come do these, like sports radio, like sing the intro to like a radio
1310 the
station.
ticket.
Right, like that guy, like whoever that guy is, that was going to be me for some of these Nashville country stations. So I got paid like $400 to go in and big 98 WSIX, the biggest hits, the biggest stars.
That's great.
That was MySpace, man.
Jingle
I got a
guy.
little work off MySpace. I was going to be jingle guy for a while.
Yeah.
And just to keep going with this silly story, I was very green going into the studio my very first time, and he had me put on the cans. He was like, listen to what the guy did before you. I just want you to do that. Put the cans on. It was a super familiar voice, and it was Mike Eli from the Eli Young Band.
Oh, man.
He ended up having to quit because his band blew up, and so I was taking his place.
Hey,
Well,
maybe that's what'll happen, right?
Yeah. So I kind of thought this might be a good path for me. It didn't really work out, but it was fun.
Believe it or not, I took an announcing class in college from the legendary Bill Mercer, if you're familiar with him, the old voice of the Rangers. And
Yeah.
he was teaching classes out at UNT.
Wow. Boy, I bet they don't even offer that class anymore.
It was a great class. Like, yeah, I got a little jealous of you just then being able to do the jingles. I think that'd be a fun job.
It was easy. I mean, I didn't have to do. I came in, sang, and left. Made decent money for back then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. So why OU?
So I went here in Dallas. It was kind of OU or Texas, Arkansas, Texas Tech, something like that. And my dad went to Texas. Truth be told, I would have loved to have gone there, but I was not. I did not have the grades. It was not even close. So I was gonna have to do the summer school route, whatever. And I wasn't a very motivated student. I was just trying to check the boxes, like
Sure.
my mom and dad wanted me to. And I went up to Oklahoma and fell in love. I loved the campus, the culture, and a ton of my friends were going to go there. And to be honest with you, that was the biggest factor. Was just I had some buddies going that I wanted to hang out with. And I'm glad I went. I actually just got back from a wedding this weekend. I got to reunite with a bunch of my pals from up there from like the last 11 years. So
Excellent.
Well,
super fun. I was there during the Adrian Peterson run.
Oh, wow.
And started with Josh Heupel. Then we had Sam Bradford toward the end, and got to see a lot of good football. I saw Tim Tebow take us down in 2008 or 9 at the Orange Bowl, and Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. I got a lot of good sports stories from back then. So I was
Oklahoma
happy to be there.
Oklahoma City and Norman and all that is a cool area. Really, I'm a fan. So,
did you guys ever go to the Wormy Dog?
I have not been there.
It was it's closed now, but it was in Oklahoma City, and that was where Cross Canadian Ragweed did their live album Boys from Oklahoma, 2001, and that's where I would see Eli Young Band and Corey Morrow, and Oklahoma City is not known for their red dirt Texas country, but that was the one spot where you could go
Get some.
and it's unfortunately closed now. I guess Grady Spencer opened something up, but anyway, they're trying to get it back going again.
Well, Oklahoma City might not be known for it, but largely what we think of as like Texas country, a lot of it comes from Oklahoma. There is a lot.
Amen.
The pedigree definitely runs through Oklahoma. So
yeah. Mike McClure, I guess, had a famous studio up there. That's where Cross got started, and Stoney LaRue, and No Justice, and I'm forgetting everybody, but
sure.
Yeah, absolutely Red Dirt. Oklahoma.
My introduction,
a lot of that.
My introduction to the whole Texas country scene in about 1998 was Pat Green, and that's what it sounds like your introduction as well, or not introduction maybe, but big influencer for sure.
Amen. You guys might remember illegally downloading music on LimeWire or Kazaa or Kazaa or whatever it was.
Whenever I see artists, I give them $20 now, and I tell them I stole their music 20 years ago, and they get a kick out of it.
He does that. I've seen it.
So that's where I was downloading Pat Green and fell in love with all that stuff, and that's kind of where it started. Because I was telling someone the other day, my high school they didn't do a lot for the student. I shouldn't say that, but they definitely alumni, they would throw this awesome party every year, and they would hire Robert Earl Keen or Pat Green or Jack Ingram or something like that. And so we would sneak in as students. We weren't supposed to be there, but they had free beer, free food.
Oh,
and sneak in. And I got to see some of the best shows up close and personal way before I should have. And that's where I saw Pat Green. Never got to meet him, but just fell in love with live music and the idea of it. And I kind of saw that this is possible. I could potentially do this. It didn't seem like such an enormous goal at the time.
That's awesome. So, yeah. So when did you? I think you kind of touched on this, but you play guitar and sing.
Yeah, I started singing in choir, and I learned guitar to accompany myself. I never. I still to this day don't consider myself a guitar player. I know how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
But I just mostly do it to accompany myself. I've always kind of leaned on my vocals.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. That's why I like what I do is performing and singing.
Sure. What kind of guitar are you playing?
I've got a nice collection now. My first guitar ever was a Takamine. My parents got me.
Nice.
And then I got a J45, a Gibson J45. And that's my workhorse. I use that all the time.
Right.
And I've got 3 kids now, so I treated myself to a Father's Day present last year and bought a hummingbird.
Oh, cool.
Gibson hummingbird. It's real. I have it in the back room, but it's this really cool blue-green color that's very unique. I don't see a lot of them.
Sure.
And then I've got a few electric guitars that I love. My uncle-in-law, if that's a thing, gave me a few nice guitars. They're nothing incredibly special, but I'm not one that I don't need to have like an expensive fancy guitar.
Sure.
I do have a couple, but it's not something that I need. I'd rather it look cool and play nice.
Yeah.
Function
for the live. Yeah.
Function over form.
Amen. So I have a modest guitar collection, I would say.
Nice. So let's you talked about recording and back when you started, I think it's funny, we were talking about Zoom and technology and everything. The recording process in 2006 or 2008 is a lot different than it is in 2020, 21. What was you said you had 4 tracks on MySpace. What was your most recent, I mean, I'm sure you used 4-track recorders and stuff is what I was going with that. What's your most recent recording experience been like?
Most recent, we did a little bit of love here. We did a little bit of love up in Denton.
Yep.
Panhandle House Studios. And that is, Pro Tools. And
yeah.
We don't like to do a lot of overdubbing, or we don't use the computer to do too many tricks. We like to try to showcase the musician.
Right.
And that's to each his own, that's just how we like to do it. But it's so easy now, and just retakes and retracks. And back when I did those 4 MySpace songs, that was in the basement of the Lambda Chi house, and I have no idea what those guys. I mean, these are my older fraternity brothers that were engineering that. I have no clue how any of that worked back then, and to this day, I'm not very apt when it comes to the engineering side. I'm a singer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bring out the talent.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit of love.
A little bit of
Tell us how that all came about. That was a big deal over a year of a lot of heartache and turmoil globally, and this is kind of a good thing that came out of it.
Yeah, I would say definitely a good thing that came out of it, and something I didn't anticipate. Um, we were talking about maybe before we hit record, we were talking about the ticket, sports radio 1310. I became buddies with George Dunham. He's on the morning show, and he and I are songwriting pals. And we've written a few songs together. He had me and the band out to do Jub Jam,
Yep.
like 2016.
I worked for the Ticket 10 years ago. I did promotions, and coincidentally, we're buddies with his nephew.
Very cool.
I used to work with him, so it's kind of funny that we have that in common. Yeah.
Yep.
Small world. So George and I became close, and we've written a few songs. And Pat Green is a big fan of the Ticket as well, and knows George, independent of my relationship with George.
Yep.
And I guess I was told this story kind of secondhand, but this is how it goes. Pat was playing golf with somebody and came up on his ball, and a little bit of luck goes a long way, or something like that. And he thought to himself, a little bit of love goes a long way, and that might be a good song. So he texted that to George, like, "Hey George, little bit of love goes a long way. That might be something. I don't know." And Pat was basically that he was done with his part at that point. So George calls me up and says, "I just got this great idea from Pat Green. You want to go finish this song?" So George comes over, a couple hours, we write this song about giving back, and it doesn't have to be some grand gesture. It can just be, holding a door, letting someone over in traffic, whatever, just a smile, just something like that might tip the scales for someone in a good way. And as we were writing this song, kind of this preachy song, we thought, we need to probably give something back ourselves. That'd be a little bit hypocritical of us. So we got to thinking about local organizations, and the North Texas Food Bank was one that we had a connection with. So we sent an email and asked if they wouldn't mind us, helping contribute somehow or another. So they were able to make a little link for us. We put it up on our website. And so we started promoting this song instead of kind of, selfishly like, "Hey, we wrote this song. What do y'all think?" Which is how we've done it in the past. We thought, I hope you like the song. And if you do, donate $1, donate $10. Some people donated up to $1,000. And it became this really cool thing that I felt good about in my heart. And it just was a different way of promoting a song, because I knew that we were making a difference. And we've already donated over 30,000 meals in North Texas just from this song alone. And to get back to the original question, how it came about, George and I finished writing the song and sat on it for a year. And then as the pandemic's rolling out, we hadn't played gigs. We hadn't been in the studio. I mean, I was literally at home watching my children grow up. And it was great, but I was definitely jonesing for, something regular, something, like we used to do. So George, they go on dry dock every December. So George said, "I'm about to have 3 weeks off. Why don't we go record this song?" So we called Eric up at Panhandle House, got the time, and, we were just going to go 1 day, 2 days, and record this song. Well, I guess Pat had some time on his hands too, because when George was kind of updating him on what was happening, Pat was like, "Those guys want me to come up there and sing on the track." Exactly how it happened. And he came up there. He was gracious and generous with his time, and like, I've heard a lot of different things about Pat.
Of course, yeah.
None of them were true on this day, and the subsequent times I've hung out with him. He was just unbelievably professional. His voice sounded as good as ever, and we started kind of a little friendship after that. And anyway, a few months later, we released the song. George had us on his show, and we promoted it, raised a bunch of money that day, and Pat had us out to a few of his shows now, opening for him at the Nutty Brown in Austin.
Oh,
We're
cool.
playing with him at the Toyota Music Factory in Irving here in a few months.
Right on.
And we even got to do this North Texas Food Bank benefit at Jerry World,
Cool.
which was really cool, playing on the field and standing on the stars just like T.O. did. So I had a blast, and it's been a journey, man. This song is not only like we've given back, and it's helped us feel better about ourselves, but it's taken me on a trip too, and it's been a really great thing.
That's good.
Well, and I mean, not only feeling good about yourself, it's objectively helped people. You have metrics, and you've donated 30,000 meals, and you talk about tipping the scales, and this time we find ourselves in this history. That's a good thing,
Yeah, I never thought I had a solution. Everything's kind of going crazy right now, and the only thing I can think is just everyone pitched in a little bit. It might at least make it a tiny bit better. So I hope the message gets out there. I've been telling people, we'd love to have your donation, but if you don't feel like donating, at least share the song or just kind of help us get the word out.
So what's the deal with the song? You go to a website, you purchase a song, you make a donation, or how does it work?
It's even easier than that.
Okay.
All you got to do is go to our website, prophetsandoutlaws.com.
Yep.
And at the top, we got a bunch of little different buttons you can click, and one of them just says Little Bit of Love Foundation. And then within that, there's a link to donate. You can donate $1. I think you can donate less than $1 if you really feel like. And then we've had people donate, like I said, up to $1,000, and you don't have to download anything. I don't think you even really need to type in I don't think you give your credit card number to us even. It goes straight to the North Texas Food Bank. It couldn't be easier, and I think credit to them for helping the process. But it was a lot easier than I thought.
We'll include that in the show notes. Give you one more backlink there.
Yep.
Thank you.
All the backlinks help, right?
Amen.
So talk to me a little, and this is just gee whiz info because I find this interesting. Your songwriting process. Do you have a process? Is there something, you like going and laying in bed and writing, or you like being in the studio? How does that work for you?
I don't like writing in the studio, although I've done it because I feel the pressure a little more, and I feel like I don't feel lyrically. I feel like I don't have enough time to work through the lyrics and think of all the options, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the answer to your question is there's no real way to do it. I've written songs in my head. I've written songs laying in bed or in the shower.
Yep.
I've written songs on the guitar. We wrote Soul Shop. We just had a melody and we just kind of sang along with it. And I said, Steven was singing or I was singing, and we said a word that sounded similar to the word Soul Shop. I don't even think that's what he said.
Right.
And then it kind of made us think, did you just say Soul Shop? That could be a cool idea. Texas Home, I wrote sitting down by myself with a guitar. There's 1,000 ways to write a song, and a lot of times I like to do it without the guitar because I'm limited, and I'd rather not limit myself to what little I know on the guitar. I'd write it in your head, write a melody, and then try to figure it out later, or take it to somebody, Jamie, our keyboard player. He's unbelievable. I could sing him a melody and he could play it. So I have good resources to help me. But
Soul Shop's got the sound that you could probably go on forever with verse after verse after verse, just like it's slow and kind of improvised, I guess. It's not improvised, but it sounds like you could just keep going, kind of like, no, I don't want to say Hey Jude, but
right.
How it could just keep going. You could just probably go verse after verse if you
when we play it live, we try to stretch it out because it does feel like that. It doesn't there are some songs by the second verse or the bridge, even if you're the writer, you're like, is this song still going? But I've never felt that way with Soul Shop, and we do try to break it up because after the second verse, we take turns playing solos, and then we do another chorus, and then we go into Purple Rain, and it's just one of those songs where it never feels like it's taking too long to resolve.
Right.
That's one of the tracks I had picked out. You mind if we play a clip of that?
Not at all.
All right, we're going to do that right now.
All right.
Rain rolling down my window, put a wrench in everything I had today. And so I canceled all my plans. I'm gonna find a new solution right away. When I'm down, head underwater to ease my woes, I sing out my sins with the ones I love the most. You can find me at the Soul Shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 88 top. I sing harmonies. And when you find me at the Soul Shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop with the rhythm of the raindrops. Sing the melody. sun. You will find the rainy days are the truly special ones. So take what you're given and do your best at living as you go through this heavy world. Don't forget to love. When I'm down, head underwater to ease my wounds, I sing out my sins with the ones I love the most. You can find me at the soul shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 88 top. I sang harmony. And when you find me at the soul shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop with the rhythm of the raindrops. I sang the melody. Na 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 na. You can find me at the soul shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 88 top. I sing harmonies. And when you find me at the soul shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop with the rhythm of the raindrops. I sing a melody.
That was impressive.
I like it.
Yeah.
Soul is what it's all about.
I do feel like it does lend itself to improvisation or to continuing on. You're right.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was my take on it.
So what's next for you?
Well, we filled up our gig calendar again, luckily. And not only do we have the Leonard City Park Festival coming up, but we are going to play at the Toyota Music Factory with Pat Green. We've got I can't announce the band we're co-headlining with, or the date yet, but we are headlining a show at Green Hall this summer.
Nice.
I got my calendar out right here. I'm trying to pick through it. Some of the more
Metallica.
Have you played Green Hall?
I've played Green Hall, but we've never headlined it. We've opened for Marshall Tucker Band and Roger Krieger, and some of my favorite times at Green Hall, we played on the floor on like a Sunday afternoon, and very authentic. You know,
Yeah.
see the skinny boards on the rails, and I don't know when this podcast is going to air, but we are playing Love and Warren Plano here in a few weeks.
Okay.
Which is
We'll be
very
putting this
near.
out probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. And
Yeah.
then we'll be out in Granbury. Just check our schedule. We're kind of full again. It seems like, at least through August. So
Good. What was the last gig you did of 2019 or 2020?
I can't remember the last one we did, but I remember the gig we had to cancel. It was at Hanks in McKinney, and we were set to play that day, and some news came down, and I think we just thought it was safer to cancel it, and then that was that was it. And so I think it was like 15 months later. What happened? We kind of had to start and stop because I forget exactly the timeline now, but we had started to add some gigs back to the calendar, and then I caught COVID.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So we had to wipe the calendar clean, and then we kept going, and then someone in the band spouse caught COVID again, so we had to, or caught COVID for the first time, so we had to again cancel all of our shows, and we had sort of a start and stop. And then I don't know if you guys were affected by the ice storm we had.
Oh yeah.
But again, we had to wipe out some gigs, so feels like we're finally in a spot where all that's behind us, and things are starting to look normal.
It's summertime. You got a full schedule. Life's looking good.
How was your COVID experience?
I had mild. I would say it was mild. I definitely was in bed It was during the Dallas Stars playoff run in the bubble.
Yeah,
so I had a lot to watch on TV, but I couldn't stay up that late. So I kept falling asleep, and I was very tired. And we had, at the time, 3 kids under 3. And it was, and then no babysitters because we, can't have visitors when you have COVID.
Right.
And so we were trying to watch the kids. And my wife had it at the same time I did. Not quite as bad, and I lost my taste and smell. I couldn't smell bacon, my favorite food in the world.
Oh, no.
And, it was rough, but I came out of it, I think healthy.
Yeah.
I feel good now.
We caught it. I caught it, and my wife had it. She just lost her taste and smell, and that was it. Like, no problem. My kids caught it, and
then he came up here and we did a podcast.
Yeah,
just like this.
I didn't know I had it at the time, but I caught it, and it was like terrible. I had a really crappy experience with it. The worst part of it was just like you said, being tired. Like after, I was down for like 3 weeks, just couldn't move. So.
And I felt real cranky. Like I generally very even tempered.
Yeah.
I would even say kind of a pushover.
Right. Yeah.
And I was not like that for like 2 weeks. I just didn't want to hear it from anybody. But I'm glad I got through it, and I hope I don't have to go through that again or anybody else.
No, I think we're coming out of it. It feels like it's starting to loosen a little. So.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
So some people may know you from TV. Is that correct?
I don't know who would know me from TV. It was a long time ago, and I was only on a few episodes, but I was on this show called Can You Duet? It was on CMT, which used to be one of my favorite channels. I don't even know if it's a channel anymore. It might just be called MTV Country or something.
Yeah, it kind of went that whole route.
Did it change?
Yeah, they started. It was all reality shows, and there was no more music really.
So, yeah,
but it was
sense.
It was cool. It was a show where you would have a duet partner, and so I went on with a very good friend of mine from Oklahoma named Kate Leary. And in the trial process, the audition process, they eliminated her, and I moved on, which is very strange. So I was put in this pool of 11 other people that also had their partner dismissed. And so one of the first 2 episodes, I think, were just us scrambling to find a partner and then find any chemistry. And so I was with this girl named Kira Lynn Ford out of California, maybe Arizona now. And we got through with a Ray Charles song on the 3rd episode,
nice.
Which was, I think, unexpected because even the judges I think, were thinking we were going to be the first ones off. And then the next week was our last week, and it was a lot of fun. I got to live in Nashville for a few weeks and really get a taste of what that would be like. And just had a huge experience. It's very early in my career. I'm doing quotation marks for those of you just listening. Very cool experience. And I got to meet Scott Borchetta, basically running Nashville.
Right.
And learned a lot, and came back to Texas with a new energy and a zest for music. And all I wanted to do was get on the road, start playing, and make a name for myself. And that song kind of launched it, or that show, I guess, rather, kind of launched it.
So what was your taste for Nashville?
I honestly got there. We're staying at the Gaylord Opryland right next to WSIX. I can't remember the the oldest country station. It's the country station of the Grand Ole Opry. Kate and I were practicing in this big hotel, and the DJ walks over and goes, "You want to be on the air in 10 minutes?" So that seemed like things were just falling into place so quickly. I got to meet Big Kenny from Big and Rich was one of the judges. And Naomi Judd, gave me a bunch of compliments about my voice sounding like a smooth George Strait or something like that. And obviously meeting Scott Borchetta was huge because he's just an incredible influencer in country music and music in general. And then also just the pressure of singing in front of 1 million people on television, like that basically washed away any of my stage fright from then on out. If I was able to do that, sitting there on stage waiting for your turn for hours to do one song is unbelievably tense.
I bet it is.
Doing a 90-minute set, you feel like you have all this time to work through things. That was it. And that was the one song. It wasn't even a full song. It was like 2 verses and 2 choruses, and you're out. And I kind of was put through the pressure cooker, I feel like, and came out the other side definitely a stronger musician. And I had a good perspective on what Nashville was. It wasn't this big, scary thing anymore. I felt like I'd really been in it for only a few weeks, but I got a really good taste of it.
Yeah. How did you do on the show?
6th place. I got on 4 episodes out of like 10 or something like that. And yeah, I mean, I had a great experience. I met a lot of good people. I wish I would have won it.
What's the application process for that? How do you get found, or do you apply for it? Or?
So back then, it was like send in a CD-ROM, like a video, and it was an original song I'd written called "Lonely." And so Kate Leary and I did this version, just acoustic guitar. And so we made it to the next stage, which is to fly to Nashville, I think on our own dime, and go interview and audition. And it was called like maybe the Wild Horse Saloon. It's like this big 3-story venue there where they host a lot of things. And that was when Kate got eliminated and I got moved on. And it was, and then the next step was another audition. And again, my partner then got eliminated. I got moved on again. So I'm feeling great about myself, but then at the same time thinking like, I'm not good for this competition. All my partners keep getting eliminated. And I think the producers of the show knew the whole time they were going to create this drama with the 12 of us that didn't have a partner. But I learned a lot about TV production too.
Right. Yeah.
They don't care how good of a singer you are or a musician. It's about the story. It's about TV. And
I was going to ask you to pull the curtain back on that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I tried out for other shows, like tried out for American Idol a few times, and I always felt like I had one of the better voices. But Jennifer Lopez was one of the hosts of American Idol the year I tried out, and I thought I destroyed the song. I thought I did "Lean on Me," and I thought I did really well. And her criticism to me was my outfit choice, which was just a pair of pants and a shirt. Like I wasn't going for anything, and maybe that was my problem.
She wanted them booty shorts.
Something, I don't know. I think she just wanted me to.
You didn't have the boots with the fur on.
Yeah.
So I was pretty jaded after that, and I just wanted to come back and do my own thing and not need to rely on someone to tell me what I was wearing or looking
Was that
like.
the Dallas audition, I guess?
No, that was out in Austin.
Okay.
I was in Austin, Texas, at the golf course. I guess Austin Country Club, or I don't know.
Well, I sent a CD-ROM into America's Funniest Videos and won 3rd place. So no big deal. But you're talking to third place.
I want to hear about that.
Oh yeah.
What was the video? Was it guy getting kicked in the balls?
I've actually submitted a second video, which is exactly that. But the first one was my brother and I on the Titan at Six Flags.
Yeah.
So I had a digital camera. This is probably in 2000.
You were cutting edge then.
Yeah, I had a little digital camera, and I was in the front seat of the Titan. We're going over the big first hill, and I had the camera facing forward, going down the hill. And if you're familiar with the ride, you go down into a tunnel. So I did a little in-camera edit, turned it behind me, and as I turn it behind me, we come up out of the tunnel. My brother's over my shoulder behind me. You can see him catch a bug in his mouth. And you see him catch, like, not the bug itself, but you see something go in his mouth. He reacts to it, which is funny.
Yes.
And then he pulls it out and looks at it, because they slowed it down on the show. They did a slow-mo. And he pulls it out, looks at it, and just kind of throws it away, and then just goes right back to, like, his hands are up. He goes
from, like, fun to horrified to fun in like 10 milliseconds, and it's a funny video.
But he and I both found it clean. I was transferring a bunch of videos from my old computer to my new computer back in the day, and we were just going through these old videos I had, and he goes, "Hey dude, slow that down. Looks like something happened there." And sure enough, we died laughing.
That's awesome.
So and yeah, we submitted it and got a call on it. So it's kind of the same process.
But
yeah, that's awesome. That's funny.
He got beat out by the Cinnamon Challenge video, and it was not funny
from
at
Austin,
all.
Texas, actually.
Yeah, it was not funny. The dude swallowed a tablespoon of cinnamon and did a little dance, and that won the grand prize.
Which I had a video of him doing the same thing on my computer.
Yeah.
Didn't win anything.
Yeah,
Didn't win anything.
Got nothing.
I realized cinnamon was nasty in big quantities.
Yeah. So sorry about that. That was a little off topic there.
I thrive in off-topic conversations.
Yeah, it's always good to get off the rails a little bit. Let's talk about your bandmates. We haven't talked about your bandmates. Who do you have backing you?
Well, James is our drummer. He holds it down. He's the older brother of the band. Steven, his actual younger brother, plays guitar and is sort of the music director, band director. Kind of runs things when we're rehearsing and on stage. Jamie Ringholm has been with us the longest of any non-brother, and he plays keyboards, he plays organ, keys, and synth. He's basically the music teacher of the band. Anyone has any like theory questions, you go to Jamie. When we're working through harmonies and things like that, Jamie is just incredible. It's nice that everyone has a role. And on bass, it's been a little bit of a rotating door since we began. We started with Matt Murrow, one of the best bass players we ever had. Then we had CJ Thompson, excuse me, CJ. I'm so sorry, buddy. And he quit because he was making so much money teaching. He just couldn't afford to come out with us anymore. And he's amazing. He's a guitar player, jazz guitar player. We kind of forced him to play bass, and he got really good at it to the point where he was like annoyed. Like, I want to be a guitar player. It's like, dude, you're a killer bass player, though. And so he was kind of like a little bit annoyed, but he was super fun. We had him around for like 4 or 5 years. And then we got this new album recorded, our first ever full album, because to this point we'd only done EPs. And so Dreamer was the new album, big 12-song album. CJ did the whole thing, and then he quit the band. And so as we're releasing this album, this project with all these really intricate new PAO songs, we have no bass player. And so we're kind of scrambling. We have some like guys fill in here and there, and we happen to do a song swap in Ardmore, Oklahoma with Johnny Cooper, whom we'd never met at that point, but we were very familiar with, being, Red Dirt fans growing up. And we struck up a conversation. Turns out Johnny Cooper's a super sweet guy. Turns out Johnny Cooper loves basketball and sports, so check and check. Then we talked a little more, and he kind of threw out that his girlfriend really likes our band. So there's another check mark. We're still talking to him. And then he kind of throws out, I play bass in this other project of mine, and my eyes light up. I'm like, you play bass? And he's like, yeah. And then so we got to talking, and next thing you know, it's like, would you want to learn like 30 to 50 of our songs and maybe be our bass player? And it literally only took him like 2 months to learn almost every one of our songs. And we're talking, some of them are very easy. Some of them, because CJ was so accomplished, were not at all easy. And Johnny, again, a guitar player that we've converted to bass, just killed it. And then the best thing about Johnny, his vocals. He's just a killer singer. And as a vocalist myself, having that kind of harmony was just like, made me drool. So Johnny has been a blessing, and he's been with the band now for almost 3 years. Has become one of our closest friends. His wife now, then girlfriend, again, just another part of the band. And we went through COVID with him, all of us together, and he stuck with us, and just so thankful that we found him.
Excellent. That's an excellent story. I like that. I do have a question, though. While you were telling that story, it made me think, bands, revolving doors, bands break up and get back together and stuff. Do you have any hope that there will ever be a Turnpike reunion? I hear that Mr. Felker's sober now.
Good question.
I don't claim to have any inside information, but I heard the same thing, that he might be sober now.
Yeah, so, I heard he's been sober for a year. He's been writing music, and I think he's one of the greatest songwriters we have around,
Yeah.
So
I hope he's doing okay, first and foremost. And I know being on the road is going to be a real big struggle, because he's going to have all this muscle memory. When I used to be on the road, this is what I would do after a show. This is what I would do. I have my own. I don't have any like substance abuse things, but there's definitely
a dominant pathway you kind of have.
Yeah. And you kind of fall into a groove of like, this is what we do every day. And it's going to be weird for him to go back on the road and have to fight those demons and try to find something. You might have to take up golf or fishing.
You got to figure out something else to do.
Turns out
you finish the show, you go do something different and get away from that. Yeah.
Maybe you just go to sleep. Yeah. I don't know. So I hope I'm a big Turnpike fan myself. I hope that they're able to work it out and he's able to do it, but it's going to be tough. So I don't want to say that he's definitely coming back. I hope they do, though.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, because I think a lot of them have gone on to do some pretty high profile things, right? So they've all got their own thing going. So at least maybe we'll get a show or two. That'd be good.
I would bet a reunion show or two is a guarantee, but whether they go on like a full blown tour, you can only hope.
Yeah,
who knows?
Absolutely.
Any up and comers you've toured with, played with, know of that you'd like to throw out there?
Sure. Rack my brain for a minute, but
Sorry,
I'll just tell you some of
that on you.
I'll just tell you some of my favorites, and maybe one will pop into my head. But
who are you listening to right now? We pull up your Spotify. Who's on it?
Okay, let me do it. Let me pull up my Spotify. Let's
there
do
we
it.
go.
And
we haven't had this opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any of the Mickey Mouse stuff that's on there. There's a lot of that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I claim to not like bro country, what I call bro country.
Sure,
but
fair.
let me tell you something.
Fair point.
I was watching Co Wetzel on Instagram do like a song swap with this guy named Hardy. And everyone I think knows this dude. But the reason I like Hardy is because it feels like he really is a redneck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when he sings about his truck, and I really think he like means it. And so I like it on like a lighthearted level. I wouldn't say it's like something I'm passionate about,
Sure.
but like it's a fun, easy listening kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I grew up on 90s country. I've actually got the Roseanne theme song right here.
Right on.
Nice.
Chris Stapleton's
Harmonica bangs, man.
Yep.
Amen. Chris Stapleton's basically my favorite. I got a lot of yacht rock on here, some Rod Stewart. And then in the scene, I mean, Jake Worthington, I think, has the best voice going right now. If you guys are familiar with him, he's down in South Texas. He's got like a true, like George Jones country voice. I love listening to him. He could sing anything, a phone book, and I would listen to that kid for days.
It's kind of how I feel about that William Beckman kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With his bourbon whiskey song.
Yep.
I'm definitely drawn to people with killer vocals.
You said
like
yacht
Michael
rock.
J.
Is that a new term? Yacht rock?
I think it is. It's not. I mean, I've known about it for a few years, and maybe I would say like some people might have known about it a lot longer. But it's a lot of like Kenny Loggins,
Yeah.
Michael
Steely Dan?
McDonald,
Yeah.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
I love easy listening. I love like stuff that's just easy to consume.
Yep.
See, our family's a huge Steely Dan fan, and I just learned about yacht rock recently, and I told my dad, like, apparently you're a big yacht rock fan. He's
And
like,
it's
I've
great
never
for
heard of
like it's great for summer and pool time and lake time.
it's our lake song, actually.
And then in the winter, I was talking with my buddies about this because we were listening to Guy Clark, and it was like 98 degrees up in Oklahoma this weekend. And he was like, "Man, I love listening to country music in the summertime." And I was like, "Amen." And for some reason, we both said we love listening to jazz in the wintertime. And I don't know. It just definitely depends on the time of year. But
I thought you
good
were going to come
vocals-
over the top and be like, I like deathcore in the wintertime or something, black metal or something.
I like a little bit of everything. I always equate it to ice cream flavors. Like everyone loves ice cream, but not everyone loves all the flavors.
That's true.
Right.
That's a good analogy. I can appreciate that. What would somebody be surprised that you might like? I mean, it stands to reason that a musician likes a little bit of everything, right? Like I wouldn't doubt to see some like Slipknot in there or some George Strait or whatever, but like what would be something, do you really like that Caillou theme song or whatever,
I do love theme songs, 90s and early aughts theme songs. Show me that smile again.
Yeah.
Like I love all that stuff. I guess people might be surprised to hear I like Hardy, that country singer.
That's
Because
fair.
in our song "Country Music Gold," I kind of say that bro country don't know country.
Yeah.
But I was wrong about that. I really will say I do enjoy his music. At least the 6 or 7 songs that I listen to on repeat. But
It's all right to have a guilty pleasure.
Little bro country guilty pleasure.
yeah, man. I don't know if it's just the summer bringing out in me, but I just like to have easy listen, fun time music. I don't like any of the stuff that's too thoughtful or depressing. We were listening to Guy Clark, and that can get like that, but
Yeah.
just good songwriters, and I literally do like everything. The death metal thing, like if it's the right groove, like hell yeah, man.
Sure.
Whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on. Well, we got 5 questions for you. We do 5 questions
Okay.
out of this here jar. If you don't mind, we've asked your question this past 45 minutes or so. So we're going to ask you random ones here.
Where do the questions originate? Where do these
We've
come
written them
from?
down, and they're just kind of
Just
some
thoughts.
are thought-provoking, some are dumb, some are typical goofy questions. We'll see what we pull out here.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, bear with us here. Let's see here. All right, here's one. What's the last thing you were looking at on your phone's browser?
Okay, this is a little. Are you guys familiar with NBA Top Shot?
I'm not.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, real quick. This is super boring, but I'll just you asked the question.
Yeah.
So you can buy. Are we familiar with the blockchain and NFTs? You guys heard about this?
I heard it on the ticket, as a matter of fact.
So NBA Top Shot is, for me, the most palatable NFT, which is just like something you can trade. And I got a Luka Doncic NFT, which is just this digital trading card of him hitting a layup. And I bought it. I bought it for like $300, and I sold it for $600.
Nice.
So now I've got $300 sitting out there on the internet, and I can't get it back. I'm having like the hardest time, and I was like frantically. They want my social security number and like my bank routing number, and I'm like, it's $300. Like, I don't want to just leave it.
Right.
But then at the same time, I'm struggling with like how much information do I give this random website so I can get my money back. And for being completely honest, that's what I was doing, waiting to. And that's what I get for trying something new, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a good answer. I like that.
I liked it.
NFTs and crypto. That's relevant.
I heard the ticket talking about the NBA NFTs, and then I also heard him talking about digital ponies. I think Norm was talking about the digital horses, where you can race these digital horses, and they have algorithms in which they basically breed online.
Dude, it's crazy.
Are you familiar with this?
Yeah,
it blew my mind.
I haven't done it. I'm not probably going to after my experience trying to get my money out, but it's a new world out there. It's confusing, but it's interesting.
Well, we started the show this way, and one of the questions is going to end this way. Was it a catch?
Well, let me just tell you this. We were in the car driving back from, I guess it was Fayetteville. We were coming from we were in East Texas at the time, and we tried to stop and watch the game, but I guess there was nowhere that we could watch it. So we were listening on the radio. And as we're driving through these small towns, you switch from one radio station to the next. And we were in between radio stations, and all we hear is Brad Sham, voice of the Dallas Cowboys, getting all excited about some potential long pass down the sideline, and then it breaks up. And then all of a sudden we hear Brad Sham even more excited because he caught it and oh my God, but then it breaks up. And then all of a sudden we hear Brad Sham alluding to maybe a review, but then it breaks up. And then we hear the referee catch not a catch, and it breaks up. And so we're on the edge of our seats trying to hear what's going on. Didn't see the play, but after hearing all of them explain it, all these Cowboys homers like Brad Sham and Dave Laufenberg, I was positive it was a catch. And then looking back on the video, you see Dez has the ball palmed like you'd palm a basketball.
Yep.
And so the ball is facing the ground, his palm is facing the ground, and he lifts the ball up, which to me means that it is in his hand. He raises the ball only a few inches, but
positive control
of that dang football. And then it was jarred loose, and they tried to say by the letter of the law it wasn't a catch. But any outdoor backyard basketball or football game I've ever been involved in, everyone would agree that was a catch.
That's a catch.
So, yeah. I'd say that God and Jesus know it's a catch.
Yeah, I think it was a catch, and then they changed the rules.
That's what it felt like.
I think the rule, the rule was misapplied.
Yeah,
I'm glad you answered that way, because I was just going to close the laptop at that point if you'd have said no. We were going to discontinue this. All right, here's another one. If there was an Olympics for everyday activities, what activity would you be winning a gold medal in? What are you good, just everyday activity?
So I have children, and I've gotten extremely good at folding clothes.
Okay.
I'm quick,
efficient.
Yeah. And let me just little life hack. You're getting undressed.
Yep.
Turn your clothes right side in. Don't leave them inside out. That's half the battle when you're folding a big old pile of clothes. Turning everything back the right way. So when you're all sweaty and you're taking your clothes off, just turn them right back so you're ready to go.
Prior
preparation prevents poor performance.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Over COVID, I got really good at folding laundry. I got 3 kids, and my wife and I have clothes, obviously. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's not the best answer.
That's good life advice for everybody listening. Just good, well-rounded life advice.
I think the last thing
sorry, one more out there is changing windshield wipers.
That is a great one.
I did that 2 weeks ago in under 15 seconds, and usually it takes me an hour.
The first time I ever did it, you lift the windshield wiper up, and it stays in place, right? Took the old one off, and it's sitting there, but it's spring-loaded, and I guess I'd bumped it, and it smacked down on my window and cracked everything. So I was determined to never do that again and learn what I'm doing, and so now I'm really good at changing windshield wipers.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Cool.
You got another one?
yeah. Can you name 5 pro golfers?
I can name 5. I love golf.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
I
Yeah,
figured.
Good.
I figured so.
Tony Finau.
Okay.
Onyx Thornstand. I'm trying to think I'm trying to go like deep cuts here. Just
I like
Lee
it.
Trevino is one
Yeah,
of my
I can't.
favorites.
I can't tell you if you're right or wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's a good strategy. Just start
Greg
naming
Norman,
people.
the Shark.
Yep.
Chichi Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Used to do like the sword fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. I don't know.
Sure.
Sure.
Done.
All
Love golf.
right. What's the last thing you bought on Amazon?
You want me to look? Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
So I love coffee. I drink coffee every day.
As do I.
I got into the world of like, what's it called? We like do the French press.
Yep.
But I felt like that was real fussy.
Yep.
And I love coffee, but I'm not like a snob or anything. I just want the caffeine fix.
Sure.
So I bought like the smallest, most basic Keurig you can do. Like it
Okay.
was like, I don't know, $60 or something. But it's like this little single shot, small
Yeah.
one.
Like hotel
And,
style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink a pot of coffee. I literally drink 1 or 2 cups of coffee. And I was just tired of like cleaning out this thing and like having to do coffee grounds. And I'm more than happy with just straight up K-cup pods and some coffee, and
Sure.
I'm on my way.
I'm a little bit of a. I'm not a coffee snob because I'll drink even wretched coffee, but I like coffee gadgets. I've got like a French press. I've got an AeroPress. I want an espresso machine, so
I do want an espresso machine just
Yeah.
to have one.
I like Americanos, man.
I do like espresso on the road. Like a lot of times we'll eat a big meal and then we got a show to do, but it's not for 2 more hours. And so all you want to do is go to sleep, but you got to stay awake. And I don't want any more coffee at that point, but like a nice shot of espresso if it's around.
Yeah.
That's my jam.
I used to work fine dining, and I was always kind of jealous of the folks that would eat or have the espresso at the end of the dinner. Like
Yeah.
I never really did that, or do it now even. Every once in a while,
Well, boy, we should make a trip.
let's do it.
We'll go have an experience.
Yeah.
Followed by espresso.
Was that 5 questions?
I think that's it.
I think that was it. So
That was fun. That was
Prophets and Outlaws, Matt Boggs, July 17th.
Yeah.
We will see you guys there at the Leonard Picnic, the 142nd annual.
And if you can't wait till then, check his schedule. It sounds like he's full. So
Yep.
Yeah. Go on our Instagram, please. We've got schedule there, and you can go on our website as well, find a schedule. And then also, please, guys, go check out Little Bit of Love. That would mean so much to me. And
Yeah.
every dollar we raise feeds 3 people, or 3 meals rather. So if you want to like make a big impact with just a little bit of money, I think that's a great one. So please help us out if you can.
you heard it there. So
Good deal.
we'll share that on our socials.
I think we'll take you out with a little bit of love.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
will that work for you?
Listen to Pat's vocals on this song. I'm telling you, it's vintage. It's like he's soulful, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
I dig it. We like what you're doing. We can't wait to see you here. And thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to be
Matthew?
with us.
Red legs.
Yeah.
He got it. Why couldn't you?
He got it. Man, I missed the boat on that.
I know it.
Thanks again, man. Have a
Yeah.
good day. We'll see you in July.
Appreciate it, brother.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We're always in such a hurry. There's only so much time. All this fussing and worry won't mean a thing. to live.